Mohammed's up. What's up, Mohammed? He says, "Hey guys, hope you're having a great hope you have a great Thanksgiving." Thank you, Mohammed. He says, "I'm inches away from getting the big client I've been chasing. I can just hear the Mastermind webinars in the distance." So he's trying to come back again. I've made a good impression so far, and it looks like I'm in the clear. However, this particular client puts a big emphasis on monthly work. He went years paying SEOs who didn't report or nothing. After the first month or so, how can I show results? Or more specifically, what am I doing to get results? Okay, I know GMB posts are one thing and a blog a week. Are rank trackers even useful anymore? What else is there that would make sense to him? A press release a month is another one. The previous people sent an analytics report every month, keeping him in the dark, and now he's open again, mostly because I educated him. But in return, he wants to be able to see progress and why I do what I do. That's a great question, Mohammed. Okay, so what I would recommend that you do, rank trackers, no, I don't think they're valid anymore. I mean, they can give you an indication, depending on the rank tracker, right? The whole mobile first algorithm thing really threw rank trackers off. So I don't think they're all that valuable anymore. I still do use them for some keywords, but it's more or less just to get an idea of what the kind of where the sites or the pages for the keywords that I'm looking at or I'm trying to optimize for are tracking. I don't expect them to be real accurate. Okay. So again, I still do use rank trackers, but I don't send those reports anymore as the primary, metric for showing progress or lack of progress or whatever, showing the status of a marketing campaign, right? I don't use rank trackers as the primary metric anymore. It might still be included, but again, what I'm stressing now is analytics and Search Console and GMB Insights. Those are the three things that I stress. And the reason why is because, like, for example, in GMB Insights, if you're adding content, you're publishing regularly, you should see month over month an increase in overall impressions as well as overall actions or engagements, right? And even on months where the actions and engagements haven't increased, you should still see overall impression and a rise in impressions if what you're doing is helping. Now, obviously, you can reach a certain level where you're pretty much maxed out, or you're not going to see much growth. In other words, if you start optimizing, and I'm talking about specifically just GMB Insights right now. I'll talk about Search Console here in just a moment. But with GMB Insights, I've noticed that if you're starting out with a new listing or you're optimizing a previously poorly optimized listing, that you should see significant increase in metrics or impressions and or engagements and actions during the first few months or a couple months or whatever, the first few months of actually optimizing that profile. Again, whether it was a new profile or an older profile that just wasn't optimized or very active. Right? When you start adding engagement and activity, you'll see a significant increase in impressions and in, ultimately you should see an increase in engagements as well, right? Actions and engagements. But then eventually what happens is, even if you continue to improve and stay active, what I've seen over time now is that a lot of listings or businesses, clients that I have, they'll stop seeing like massive growth on a month-to-month basis, because you kind of reach a level where it's almost diminishing returns, but you'll continue to see the engagement staying consistent, and they'll vary plus or minus a certain percentage every month, just depending on the month, and also depending on what product or service it is that they're, some stuff seasonal and all that kind of stuff. So that's insights. That's one metric or one report that I use to show. And one thing you can do, Mohammed, is just take a screenshot, like at the start of the campaign of the GMB Insights, and then mark your calendar to remind you, like set a calendar reminder in Google Calendar or whatever, to remind you every 30 days to go in and take another screenshot of GMB Insights and save all of those files into a folder, so that then you can put them side by side and say month 1, month 2, and then on month 3, you can even add month 3 to it, or you could just go month 2 to month 3, or you could have month 1, month 2, month 3. You see what I'm saying? You could put the screenshots together side by side to make like one image, and you can show the growth of the metrics, like impressions, number of calls, number of clicks to website, number of driving directions, if that's, if it's a point of sale business. So those are all things you can do. And the same thing goes for Google Search Console. Search Console, especially the new dashboard, like the new.
Hey, Bradley.
Go ahead.
Before you move to Search Console, let me just finish up on the GMB Insights. Because what you could do is you make this activity based, right? You're going to see that the insights shoot up, and then they might level off.
Right.
What you have to make the client understand is it's your work that's doing this. It's your posts, it's your images, it's your videos, it's your optimization, it's all of the activity that's taking place in the GMB that's making this happen. And you also have to make it clear that if this stops, in order to maintain, well, once you reach that whatever saturation level is, in order to maintain it, in order to keep that coming, you have to keep posting, you have to keep up the activity, because we've seen it time and again that if you stop the activity, then all of a sudden everything just goes dead in the water, man. You'll see this a drop. It's incredible the way that the activity just simply drops.
Yeah.
And it becomes almost nothing. And so you have to warn the client. I mean, if you were in the mastermind, I'd be more than happy to share screenshots that you could share with your client of what happens if you stop.
Yeah.
All right. So that's one of the things that you could really focus on, that because it's activity driven. It's something that you have to do time after time after time. It's repetitive, and the report is basically always going to be the same. I posted, I added images, I optimized, I added new keyword targets, and then that ties into what Bradley's going to go into, which is analytics and Search Console, which is directly affected by your activity in Google My Business. So let me just turn it over to you, Brad.
Yeah. And so Search Console, the same thing with especially in the new dashboard or the new interface. The first thing you see is when you click into the search analytics portion is you're going to see impressions and then clicks, right? So same thing. Take a screenshot of when you start the project, and then the same. It's just like you did with GMB Insights, right? So you do this all the same day, whatever. Then 30 days later, you can take another screenshot, and what you should see is the impressions significantly go up, because if you're content marketing from their, so essentially blogging from their website, you'll start seeing the impressions will continue to climb up and up and up. And it's because the site will start being discovered or being given impressions by Google for additional keywords. Right? If you're blogging and you're content marketing from the site, because that's what Search Console is connected to, right? The money site, the self-hosted site, and you're blogging, what will happen is you'll see that as you're content marketing, you'll see month over month, the impression level continue to increase, going up. And that's because you'll start getting more impressions for more keywords. Now, something to keep in mind, though, is if you click the box to show the average rank value or rank position, average position, as your impressions rise, you should actually see your average rank position, for the most part, a lot of the times get worse. And the reason why is because although your site is being discovered and Google is showing it for more keywords, a lot of the keywords that are giving the site impressions now aren't necessarily optimized well. Like there's not necessarily pages optimized well for that particular keyword that Google's giving an impression. So when it records where the position was, it's likely going to be a much lower position. The only reason why I'm telling you that is because I know that I've had clients ask me when because I send Search Console reports every month. That's part of my client reporting process. And I've had clients say, well, I can see the impressions going up. And I've explained that means your site is being discovered for more and more keywords. But they've said, but I see the average rank position is going down, like it's getting worse. Why is that? And I've had to explain that. And that's because, and so I just kind of wanted to point that out to you, because it's likely a question you're going to get. I've had that question come up multiple times. And so you just explain that. But the idea is with Search Console, especially, you can find really good keyword opportunities there for stuff. Sometimes you'll find new keywords that you hadn't even been targeting before, or you'll find opportunities just by looking at what the average position is for keywords that would be good keywords for conversions for your client. Those would be keywords that now you can start optimizing for, right? And it'll show you right in Search Console where, like which pages or which keywords and what the position was that it ranked. And so you can identify opportunities there to go in and optimize, right? So again, those are just two. And analytics is the same thing. Analytics, you just take screenshot every month, and you can show month to month, like the overall, increase in traffic. You can also show, for example, like more traffic coming from social media if you're doing content amplification. syndication and amplification. Although I typically don't really stress the social media metrics much. I always push the search metrics and PPC or paid advertising metrics if you're doing that too. Okay. So again, those three things are primarily the most, I still send a rank report. I use Bright Local as my rank reporting for all my local clients. And I still send that, but I've made it very aware, or my clients very aware as to why I don't rely on those anymore. And those really aren't the best KPIs or key performance indicators anymore as the rank trackers. Okay. But that was a great question, Mohammed. I think that was, if we were going to be giving away stuff for winning best question, I think that was a great question.